So if you're a parent, the question you're asking about AI isn't just what tasks it can help you do. It's also, what jobs will our kids have? AI seems to be what's on everyone's mind right now. Some people are excited, some people are worried. Most people are just trying to figure out what it all means. Because if AI can increasingly do work that humans traditionally do, what does that mean for the next generation? And as a mom, I've got my first child going to college soon, and I've been thinking about that question a lot. And I've come to believe that one of the most important questions we can teach our children is not how to compete with AI, but how to become owners in a world that AI needs. So instead of being a consumer of AI, be part of an owner of it. That's what we're talking about today in this video. So hello friends, my name is Kathy. Welcome to my channel, Life in Abundance, where we talk about family, faith, finances, and our future. So as parents, you're not just thinking about your own future, but also about the future for your kids. And for me, what brought this idea up is my first is graduating high school this year and then going to college. And as he's planning for his adulthood, I've wondered, what is the future going to look like for him? So, to be honest, I don't always know, because the future seems very uncertain. Things are changing so fast. Housing is becoming increasingly expensive. There's lots of student debt that families are worried about. And we've been seeing more adult children move back into the home even after college, because getting a good footing financially seems to have been getting more difficult as the time goes on. And now we're watching AI develop at a pace where most of us have never seen before. And I get that a lot of people are worried. So maybe you've had some of the same thoughts I've had. And that is, well, what jobs will still exist? Are there careers that we can point to so that our children can think about that? Are there specific careers that we should encourage our children towards? And that's been a conversation in my family. In fact, my husband even got into it, and he believes he knew the answer. And so he was saying, well, the answer is being a plumber and other jobs that require specialized hands-on skill. And there's definitely something there to think about, because maybe he does have a point with that. Because every time we've needed a plumber, they've been expensive. And it's hard to imagine a robot crawling under a sink space to get at stuff anytime soon, right? So the more I thought about it, I did realize, yeah, there might be some that we can point to, but maybe a specific job might even be the wrong question. What if, because if I can't accurately predict which jobs would still exist 20 years from now, actually, does that really solve the problem? After all, there are plenty of people with good jobs right now that are still financially struggling. There are people with careers that they're excited about who feel already financially behind. And some people who may have stable incomes now could still be worried about their retirement. So, is it enough that people work hard every day and that alone takes off financial pressure? Or is it still there? So is a job or a career just part of the picture? Maybe the bigger question is actually, how do we help our kids build financial security, even in a world with AI? In my last video, I talked about some of those skills that I think will remain valuable even as AI does grow. And if you're curious about it, we'll link it in the description. We talked about things like adaptability, critical thinking, resilience. And then I named the 3 skills that are kind of like AI future-proof. Skills that I think would give any person the edge, even in an age of AI. It's going to be in the description. Go ahead and give that a listen to right at the end of this video. But there's something else that's super important that I've been thinking about, that answers the bigger picture of how to make sure, or how to build that solid financial backing if we're not sure what jobs to go with AI, not just skills, because that's part of it. We as humans want to have skills that are still valuable, but there still is a big difference between working and getting income versus owning. So give me a minute on this idea. So most of us were taught get good grades so you can get a good job, so you can work hard and earn money. And I believe in hard work. I definitely teach my kids that. But I've also learned something about money because I think it's been changing now, especially for the future. And I came to this thought having read books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad from Robert Kiyosaki. And if you're familiar with it, you probably remember that there are different ways people earn income. And he kind of divided it. You might have remembered like the 4 quadrants where you go to a job and somebody pays you for your time. But then if you move up in the world, you're maybe a manager or a supervisor. That means other people's work is helping paying you, right? Then you can move forward even more from there on that 3rd quadrant where maybe you are a business owner, right? You work, but the business itself also pays you. So you're gaining even more than your own personal work. But the highest quadrant, or the most desirable quadrant, were investors. People who were earning income from assets. And that's the place that we want to be, because then when you can earn income on work that's being done where you're not, whether or not you're actually even working it, that is the ultimate of time freedom, right? And these ideas you probably already know or have heard of before. And so this is the idea that I was thinking when I'm also thinking about AI, because with AI, isn't the point of AI doing work that to help us, things that we either don't want to do or that AI can do faster and better so that we have time to do other things? So what struck me with this idea is, as a parent, could that idea help me set my kids up for an even stronger financial future? So without stress of their finances, they have success in their finances if I help them understand the idea of ownership of assets more than working hard for income. Because you might know some of my story. I had a career as a pharmacist. I ended up giving that up to become a stay-at-home mom, no paycheck. So I started investing. And it didn't always work exactly the way I thought, but I did learn that ownership provides leverage. If you start owning the right assets, the productive assets, the things that are growing, the amount that you put in grows more, right? That's exactly what investors do. I'm sure that probably isn't a new idea. So how do we know what to invest in? This is the big realization that I had. Well, why wouldn't I invest in things that AI needs? AI is going to need certain things. AI is going to need energy. AI is going to need infrastructure. AI is going to need a finance backing. What do I mean by that? When we tell AI, so we're moving into this agentic age. AI agent, agentic, that's how they call it. So that means that AI, when we ask them to go do stuff for us, they may need some sort of value system to do the work. Hey, every morning order me coffee and have it delivered, right? They need some sort of value system for that. Hey, plan my vacation, buy airline tickets, right? So that value system, sure, maybe we can give them our credit card, but maybe if because AI is digital, is working in the digital space, maybe it needs digital value system, digital finances, and that is cryptocurrency. Now, before you lynch me, listen, give me a moment here. So I don't believe in all cryptocurrency, but I have been studying Bitcoin for a while now. And I think a lot of people misunderstand it. But what I have learned is Bitcoin is the most valuable cryptocurrency. It's been growing over the last 15 plus years. It is secure and the most trustworthy of all the cryptos that are out there. No one has hacked Bitcoin ever. And so Bitcoin being that financial layer, could it possibly be that baseline foundation of value that other cryptos find value from? And as AI uses digital money in the digital realm, would Bitcoin continue growing? And if you if you're not on board with Bitcoin, could other assets in the digital space or other things we already mentioned, energy, infrastructure, would investing in that be? So whether you agree with Bitcoin or not really isn't the point of today's video. The larger point of this is I want my children thinking like owners, not just consumers. If AI creates this enormous amount of value for the future, I want them to understand how ownership works. I want them to understand that they can be a part of it. I want them to understand assets and investing so that the value of their finances continue to grow as AI is growing, instead of them thinking just about earning income. Because none of us knows exactly what the future will look like, but we can help our children become more adaptable. We can help them become those lifelong learners and understand money and have ownership, take ownership of their finances as well. Because the goal isn't preparing them for just one specific future. Maybe it's preparing them to just thrive in many possible futures. And what better way to do that than being a part of the financial system as AI grows? So if you're interested in some of these investing ideas that have shaped how I think about ownership and wealth building and preparing for the future, I've put together a free training below. Or in the description, we'll leave a link for you. So if this is interesting, I'd love to hear from you. Or even if you're thinking, well, Kathy, I've got other ideas. Well, I'd love if you'd put in the chat, what financial lessons do you teach your kids? And if you haven't, what has stopped you? Maybe we can share some good ideas in the chat and help other parents out there too. And if you have a great idea of what to discuss next, I'd love it if you put in the chat as well. So let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.